Matters is every Tuesday at 12 o'clock here on Inspiration 1680 and FM 100.7.
Hello, Orlando. This is Dan Smith on Community Matters. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We are so happy that you're here on your lunch break, joining us in the community because you matter like we matter in the community, and it's all good. I am so happy today to be joined with Coach Nitra. What's up, Coach?
Hello. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yes. Hey, I was thinking, I've had this 21-day challenge of getting healthy and all that, and I said, I gotta get the coach in here so we can, so she can see if there's been any results, because I've been kind of, I've been on it, then I kind of fell off, but I got back on, just getting things together in this new year. You looking good, looking great.
Thank you. And everybody listening, I swear he was so excited to tell me about the 21-day challenge. And then I said, well, tell me how it went. He was like, well, I guess I got to get back on because you don't notice. Look at him. Somebody was a little sensitive today. He thought I didn't notice.
Yeah, hey, I'm trying to aspire, looking at you, you're you're the epitome of health. We look at the calendar and there you are. Hey, that's a good idea, right? Get you a calendar. All right. Mm-hmm.
I know. More pictures.
Yes. So anyway, we are just so glad and happy that you're here on Community Matters because this is a special month. This is Women's History Month.
Yes.
Wow. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I'm just becoming aware of it probably like a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, I didn't know about Women's History Month. It's a thing. And then, a lot of ladies were coming to me and say, hey, we need to do this. And so I started doing a devotional at our church. We were doing a devotional for the whole month, and we had speakers and stuff, women that's doing their thing, impacting the community, making things happen. So I was like, wow, so this is cool. This is great.
This year might be the first time that I've seen it pushed so much, either in marketing, social media, and years past, since it comes off of the heels of Black History Month.
That's
I think
right.
It gets overshadowed. And
wow.
So this year, I think we're seeing a lot more people stress the importance of it and really talk about Women's History Month. So it's nice to see.
Yes. And I was just doing a little research on it and come to find out that it was a bill that was passed that from Jimmy Carter, our beloved, Jimmy Carter, who, he never get a lot of recognition like he should. I think, they kind of beat him up when he was in office. He was soft, he was weak, but he did so much for people and the community. The building, what is it? With the houses that he go around helping put up houses and all that. So I'm going to look that up. And it says that back in 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued a proclamation. First, just started out a week, and then it expanded into a month. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I've gotten a chance to meet Jimmy Carter
Get out of here.
Yes, it was at a Martin Luther King celebration with his daughter when I lived in Atlanta.
Wow.
And he was there for the event.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Habitat for Humanity.
That's his thing.
Mm-hmm. I knew it would come to me. Wow. So tell us about that. What was that like meeting a president?
I know what some would say, a legend in the Black community, and especially for individuals who are a little older, maybe those, in 70s, I think maybe 70s and the 80s. Mm-hmm. That's their time frame. That's their era. And they got a chance to see somebody who spoke out, who wanted to see that Black community be stronger. And he was a partner to Martin Luther King in so many different ways. And he really pushed and challenged people to pay attention. And so it was super nice to get a chance to see him. He's very friendly.
Wow.
It was
just a regular person?
Yeah, just a regular person that you would think this is, he has security, but it wasn't like that. We were it was in the library, and you got a chance to talk to him, shake his hand, and he was just happy to be there and he actually spoke for a few minutes. And granted, he was much older still, even at that time, but he was still able to speak, and it was a pretty great event.
That is amazing. So you met him, you shook his hand?
I did.
What? Get out of here!
I did. Yes, I did, and have a picture.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome! Wow, he's always been about service. He's always been about the community, and it's so. I don't know where the inspiration, or maybe his wife was talking to him about. There should be a time where we just reflect about the contributions of women. And he said, hey, okay, all right, well, we're going to set aside a week. And then somebody said, we need a little more time. Then we get that month. But it's amazing that that happened. And now, like you said, it's huge, and I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all keep doing y'all thing because it's for the community.
Absolutely. Listen, there are more female entrepreneurs. Every year, it outpaces males going into entrepreneurship, business, and so more women are in higher level positions. So what else can you say? It's just a pretty awesome experience. And it's funny you say for Jimmy Carter, everybody who is kind of in his camp or when you get a chance to meet him, his wife is a huge inspiration to the things that he does.
Wow.
She takes a big seat to all of the things that he's a part of and always with him.
Yeah, looking, he's 98 years old, and he said that he lived his life the way he wanted to, and he said that at this time now he wanted to transition into hospice care. He had some weird. He's still with us, but he had some health challenges. But to be 98, 98, and he's been active. People say in his area, they would see him at stores, and he, just regular person. He even teach Sunday school.
Yes. Some would call him a man of the people. That's why I say especially amongst diverse communities, he was someone who they still talk about like, man, I remember when.
Wow.
And just think when he, left that office, he was even more involved in service post.
Wow.
So it's a big deal when you talk about like who he is and what he represented.
And it seems like he got it about the struggle, and he understood the plight of minorities, and it wasn't, as I would say, a woke issue with him or wokeness, whatever that is, or anti-woke. He said he was just regular. He put his faith into practice. So there's a lot of people hold on to the faith, so to say, and they use it as a political tool. But from what I understood and reading about him, he practiced what he preached. His life reflected his ministry.
Yes. And, there may be some who are listening right now saying, oh, my God, he did this and this. But when you look at the culmination of his life's work,
yes,
he tried to do what was right for people. And that's what makes him so special.
Wow. That is awesome. So we're called to service. We're called to help our community. And you have a passion of helping people, and let's refresh our listeners to your call and your passion and your service.
Perfect. And that's a good way to call it what it is, because that's how I feel about it, that I'm called to do it. I feel every day that I've been able to provide a gift. I've been given a gift, and I'm able to provide that gift in return around healthy lifestyle. So I am Anitra from Butterfly Transformation Nutrition Coaching, and everything that I do is around helping people live the lifestyle they want, live the lifestyle they deserve through better health. Oftentimes that may come in the form of aesthetics, but more importantly, it is the internal piece of how we improve our health so that we can be confident, have more energy. I call it have more moments. And so for that, I am blessed, and I am very passionate about being able to provide that gift for people, to give them more in this life.
So when you say aesthetics, what do you mean by
For
aesthetics?
some people that maybe they end up looking different, right? I want to lose weight. I want to look better. I just want to go shop. Hence, what's your 21-day challenge?
It should be 42-day challenge now.
So when I think about that, that's a gift, that when you're able to see someone regain their confidence, that to me is the best present ever, because I know what that means. You know,
Wow.
I may have individuals who they aren't looking in mirrors anymore. They aren't taking pictures. So you're missing out on life because you're not happy.
That is sad. Wait.
Yes.
Let's pause it right there, because you got a lot of energy, you got a lot of insight. You mean to tell me people will stop taking pictures and stop looking at the mirror?
Yes, and it's very common. Since I get a chance to consult with women and men every day, and I consult with professional men and women, usually executives or business owners or people who are head of their organizations, and they are so confident in one aspect and being able to achieve kind of financial things, but when it comes to that health, when it comes to, hey, I want to look the part, they oftentimes may struggle and they don't know how to ask for help. So when I'm getting a chance to consult with them, I'm getting the most vulnerable part of them. That's letting me know that, hey, you know what? On my last 3 vacations, I don't have any photos.
Oh,
You know what? I don't shower with the lights on anymore.
what?
You know,
Wait. Hold.
Listen,
You've heard that?
listen.
Wait.
This is not a joke. This is
Showering with the lights off.
Yes. People who do not turn lights on, they don't want to look at themselves. And some may hear me say that and think, wow, that seems extreme, but you don't understand what someone feels about themselves.
So you have to be sensitive.
So
to
very
the
sensitive.
issues.
And there's a lot of issues that people may be having, but more importantly, at the end of the day, it still is they're not confident with you, the person. And so it can be because you don't like what you see, and you reminisce about what you used to be, 15 years ago, right?
Back
That's
in the
dangerous.
day.
It can be dangerous when you're reminiscing about what it was versus what I can be. Or someone is not feeling at their best. They realize that, maybe stress is taking a toll. They may have all the things. I call it, we have a lot of things, right? We have a lot of dollars, but that doesn't mean that we have the joy that we once had. It doesn't mean that people feel great, right? And so they know that their health is declining. They know they aren't sleeping well. And so you have individuals who are walking around just not really well. So when I can help give that back, yes, that makes my day. That is what I'm passionate about. When people can walk away feeling like they are better for it, and not just because we want to go on vacation, but because I want to live this lifestyle for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yes.
And so what does that look like in someone's journey that you've worked with when they have arrived, or that person that started out a certain way that couldn't look at themselves, or or turn the lights off when they shower, but you've seen them progress. You've seen that butterfly effect.
I will tell you, it's funny because one of my clients right now, super successful, runs her own business, and was one of those individuals, has everything financially, but no longer wanted people to see her. And now in the transition, you kind of have to strip away all of those things that don't matter and really focus on them only. That's the one aspect of their day when they're with me or when I'm coaching them, that it's about what they put in their body, what they do to their body, how you're going to take care of it, how you're going to physically, have enough activity to support what we need to do for your health. And when you see somebody start to flourish, gradually they're okay sending me pictures, right? Because at first they have to send me pictures, and it may be, pulling teeth to get those photos. But once they start to send me the photo, then all of a sudden I get a quick text message. Hey, Coach Nitra, look at me in X, Y, and Z. Hey, Coach, I went shopping.
Wow.
Look at me in my workout clothes, right? And then you see the transition, that their confidence is coming back. They feel great. And it's not about somebody who, is all of a sudden super slim. That's not the point. But the point is that they're feeling great mentally, physically, and they are starting to enjoy again what they see. And so then when all of a sudden I see one of my clients who never posted photos of themselves or current photos of themselves on social media. That all of a sudden, when you see the current photos show up, or they're going to have a party, they're going to go somewhere, you see that life coming back to them, all because we've been able to really work out a great plan for them around their health and the lifestyle. And now they feel great again. They feel like they can let people see them. Wow.
So I mean, is there a time, do you let them go, or are they just, I mean, I can just imagine that, they'll feel like, oh, I've arrived, but I got to stay connected to the coach, because if I don't, I might fall back.
No, that's the point. So within my program, I offer a 15-week program. And sometimes people are with me longer, depending on what they're trying to accomplish. But for most people, in those 15 weeks, it's in phases. And I have 4 different phases. And that first phase is what I like to call renovation phase. It is the tear down. We've got to tear down old habits, rigid thoughts, things that you thought you couldn't do anymore. I can't eat this, can't do this, can't eat bread, can't eat this, or I have to only eat this. They're only eating salad. So we really have to kind of deconstruct all of those old habits, rigid thoughts, crazy diet rules, crazy things that they're doing, crazy teas or pills. We have to get off of all of those things. And we gradually get to a point through those phases where in that last phase, it's kind of that I'm flourishing phase.
Yes.
And they have time with me at the end where all we're doing is just is flourishing. And so by the time they leave me, they know what to do because they've been doing it the entire time with me. And so it's not just I'm getting them to a point that, hey, maybe they lost 25 pounds with me, but now they'll be able to continue the journey on their own if they want to lose more or if they want to maintain. So they know how to do that. And most of my clients, in some way, shape, or form, they're connected to me because they want me to see their continued progress, but not because they don't know what to do.
Okay, so there it's a celebration journey.
Yes,
and they can stick around for the party, but they know how to maintain on
absolutely.
their own.
As I say every day, if you cannot maintain what we do or what you do with a coach, then it's not worth it. And that's the whole point. It needs to be something that is sustainable, something that you can maintain.
Sustainable.
Anybody can help you lose weight, but can anybody help you keep it? And that's the most important
that's the hard part.
You got to keep it, and that's where that comes in with me. Is this is not just about how you get there, but how you stay there.
Wow, staying there, and and I'm thinking about women. I'm thinking about Black women, our community. How do we get to? Okay, let's see. This is kind of like a loaded question. It's just so many things, I'm thinking about. But how, when we're younger, we're pretty much healthy. Before we have kids, we're slim, I'm just thinking of the ladies.
Most people,
they may be slim, fit, and then after a certain point, they get out of school or whatever, then they start, the challenges of life comes there. They start gaining weight. They start getting into that sedentary lifestyle, and then it's like they don't have no motivation to try to transform. They want to, but they've just accepted themselves as they are, so to say. And as a people, how have you seen our Black women? With our health challenges, how have you seen that struggle take place, and is there hope?
Absolutely. So what's funny
I know you're very hopeful.
Listen, and so what's funny is I know as you all are listening, you're hearing him talk about women, but that is because it's Women's History Month. But it's no different for men. These same things are occurring, but we're going to talk about women today. So first, there's some very real factual things that are happening. People's bodies are different, right? Lifestyles have changed. Many people who are, when they were much younger, they may have played a sport. They were a lot more active. And then all of a sudden, life happens, as I call it, when life starts lifing.
That's right. All right, I like that.
When life starts lifing.
You need to brand
I need to brand that.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. It's not just children. It's a spouse, it's a significant other, it's the climbing a corporate ladder, or maybe you are working for yourself. And that grind becomes the only part of your life and, other responsibilities. And somehow you become kind of last on that list, right?
That's so
you
true.
Become
Say
last.
that again. Say that. Yeah,
people become last. I'm going to look that way. We become last on the list, right? But what happens is there are other things that people don't notice they're last because they still do certain things, like we still going to get hair done. We still getting nails done. We still going to get massages. But when it comes to how we live the lifestyle of a healthy lifestyle, that is last. Because all these things, we can do these things and they feel great and maybe they're even a part of status. But nobody can help you in the sense, nobody can jump in your body and create the lifestyle for you. You have to be committed and you have to be ready. But oftentimes I think that in certain age ranges and in certain, levels of responsibility, people kind of reside to, that's just how it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to look like I'm fit anymore. I'm not supposed to, have the best body anymore. I'm not supposed to look like that. And I think men think that too. Hey, I'm just getting older. That's just kind of a part of life. But the fact is, it's not. It's really not a part of life. There are so many things that we can do to minimize that impact, but we have to actually acknowledge, number one, what's happening. Number two, do you really want to do something about it? Right? And number three, are you really ready to take action?
And I have to go the spiritual route. God designed our body to be active throughout our lifestyle, throughout our lifetime. In reading the story of Moses is saying that he was very active up until the time, up until his last days. And so there's not a reason why we can't have that same energy, that same drive. We're talking about those who are fairly healthy.
Yes.
We know that there's health issues that can come and change the whole trajectory of your life. So not we're not talking about that. But those who are able, they still have the capacity to thrive no matter what age, no matter where they are.
Absolutely. But oftentimes people think literally that the aging process means slow. Aging means I'm going to be slower. Aging means I'm going to be heavier. Aging means that I'm supposed to have aches and pains all over my body. I get older, it means my back is supposed to hurt every day. But it doesn't mean that. It just means that you are not doing anything to prevent. And so that's where we have to kind of change that narrative around what it means to be physically fit, what it means to be active, what it truly means to take care of our bodies. So, for example, especially after COVID, so many people are pretty sedentary. They don't realize it, though. They've started working from home. So many more people go less places as they used to because they're not going to work every day. Right, they're working from home at, let's say, 75%, if not 100%, right? But they're not taking into account that you just snatched away 3/4 of your normal everyday activity. The concept of getting in your car, going to work, driving,
just moving,
kind of the office, the water cooler, the kitchen conversation, the going back and forth to meetings, talking to people, maybe going on a break with somebody outside, walking a little bit. So you snatch away 3/4 of someone's daily activity and you let somebody just sit. Wow. Those are health concerns waiting to happen, because if you take away that much activity, and people will say, well, I'm still working out. You were working out before, right? But when we take away that much of your daily activity, we call it our NEAT. It's just normal everyday activity, non-exercise, kind of essential activity. When you take 3/4 of that away, people are gaining 20, 30, 40 pounds, and they don't understand why. It's because we just snatched away all of your activity. Even though you're still going to exercise 3-4 times a week, yes, you did that before. But before, you didn't sit down 12 hours a day.
Wow. I was thinking about, when we talk about aging, my mom, she's kind of the epitome of very good health. She's 82 years old, still working. She doesn't even look, she looks like she's in her 50s.
Well, look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
And everybody's like, wow, what do you do? Well, I'm still active. She still works out. She still works by choice. She's a registered nurse, but she doesn't have to work, but she just likes to be around people, and she likes to serve. You saw my mom, you'd be like, whoa, Dan, hey, And it's true.
But
and
this is how we do it. You have to stay active. And sometimes when people are thinking, so for example, if I'm coaching and I'm, saying to someone, hey, part of this plan, I need you to not only strength train 3-4 times a week, and I know you may, you may have a Peloton, you're going to go to spin, whatever you're going to do on top of strength training, you're going to do 1 or 2 days. I need you to walk every day. And someone may say, well, coach, that sounds ridiculous. Why? Walking is a part of cardiovascular health. It's a part of just daily life, regardless of intentional exercise. And by intentional exercise, I mean going to the gym to lift weights, going to Pilates or going to Zumba, whatever your activity of choice is, boxing, whatever you like. Those are intentional choices. Walking is a necessity. It's a part of cardiovascular health. It's one thing that everybody can do, right? Of course, everybody hear me say there are some people who may have knee problems or foot issues, or maybe they are in a wheelchair, they cannot walk. But the majority of people, that's not the case. 80% of the world, 90% of the world, that's not the issue. You can walk, you just have to get up and do it. And you have to understand that that's literally a part of life. We've got to move our bodies. A seated body, you are asking for problems. You're asking for, muscular atrophy. You're asking for muscles to start to get weaker. You're asking for pains. You're asking for slower metabolism. It's just not in your best interest. So you need to get up and move as much as you can.
Now, who has been, or I should say, who has been like the age of the oldest client you've had?
Oh my gosh, that is such a great question, because my oldest client was 83.
Wow.
And what was so wonderful, I've had 2 clients that were 83, and each of them very different spectrums. One extremely active, and she was with me because she was starting to not eat enough. So she came to me because she needed to eat more, but she was very active. She still strength trained. She still walked every day. She still did an aqua fitness class.
Wow,
like she was very
fitness.
Active.
Wow.
And yes, I have a picture actually of her on my website. And then I had another client, same age, but very different situation, because health situations will change that dynamic. Yes. Right. But the next client, she had diabetes. But in some ways, unmanaged diabetes.
So just for our listeners' pleasure, what is diabetes?
Diabetes is when you actually have either an issue with insulin production, the way that your body responds to insulin.
Okay, and yes. I asked you that because I know you know a whole lot about this, and you talked about it so much. So,
and I know, and there may be people who think they know what it is, but then you don't. And so people listening, they're type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is usually what's considered juvenile diabetes. That's usually teenage and younger. And then anybody who's usually past 18 is considered type 2 diabetes.
We can talk about so much. There's so much in my head. Yeah. I mean, because I'm thinking about, there's a lot of young people now that diabetes has increased.
Yes. And what's interesting is the difference. Like we used to say, well, type 1 diabetics, it was a completely different reason on insulin. It was their body didn't respond at all. And so their body's not producing enough. Now then we have type 2 diabetes, where it's that population, their body is not responding. To it. Right? And it's what we call insulin resistance. It's not responding. But now you're seeing younger individuals who may fall in the age range that it should be type 1, but it's not. They're type 2 diabetics, and they're 15 and 16 years old. And that is 100% lifestyle based. Where type 1 diabetics, it has nothing to do with their lifestyle. It's what is happening in their body, regardless of what they do or don't do.
So we've seen an increase of younger people, increase of getting diabetes based upon their lifestyle.
Yes. Because when you start getting children who are inactive, and a lot in our communities, because we may be seeing less sports options, right? If it's not football season, what are your options? And depending on what school someone goes to, especially younger kids, they may not have access to camp.
Wow.
Let's say summertime, they may not have access to camp, or when we are in populations where it's a single parent home, a child may not be in sports because they can't be. right? There's no supervision. So someone they're home.
Right.
They may be with a sitter of some sort. And so you're seeing children who are less and less active. And then in school, if you're having less physical education classes, right? You've got a lot of kids who are just playing video games.
Exactly. Well, they're on the video games.
And so all of a sudden you have children who are not moving.
You know, it's interesting too. I don't. You have you ever been in the military or no?
I know a lot about military folks, but I've never been in the military.
Okay. All right. Just checking. And I'm just saying this because the military has put out a report that the American children, they're not really military.
They're not military grade. They're
right,
not ready.
Yeah. It's like, Houston, we have a problem. You know, it's like, so it can affect a lot of things. And they said that, you know, it's hard for them to recruit. They can't even recruit people who want to join. They have to turn them down because of just basic things of health. So it's a problem in America.
And it is. And what's sad is that clearly never used to be the case because younger people, right, 18 years old, they typically are healthy. And now the screening involved in going to the military for someone young is extensive, as though they were almost 40 years old, because they need to check. So when you have 18-year-olds who have high blood pressure, they can't be accepted into the military.
And, you know,
peanut allergy, simple things, a peanut allergy, diabetics, they cannot be accepted. And so that is a problem.
And this is another problem when they're going to jobs. And, you know, we're stereotyped sometimes anyway from the way we look. So if an employer wants to hire someone and they just see them on the outward appearance that they appear to be unhealthy, they will, sad to say, they will judge them and hold that against them. Like, well, we got to pay out a lot of insurance for this person. The insurance issue. So it's a sad fact, but even you're going into job situations where you're being, I would say, discriminated against or left out of the job market because you're not healthy.
And it's sad because here it is, you know, that's usually something that clearly we know adults deal with that.
Absolutely.
Where there can be discriminatory behavior based on physical appearance. And right, wrong, or indifferent, we do know that exists, but it's starting to happen to much younger people. A 17-year-old trying to get a job who appears to be not healthy, it's going to be an issue.
Wow.
So, you know, when I think about, you know, our community, it's something that we have to change the narrative around what does it mean to be physically fit. And oftentimes that has nothing to do with somebody's physical size per se, but it's what are those metrics that share that, hey, there are the potential for health concerns that you can see or not see, but we have to change that. And so we have to start with parents who are leading the lifestyle, because I'm a believer, children emulate parents.
Yes.
And I'll say in a second, I was talking to one of my clients last week and I said, you know, it's very obvious usually if you have very healthy, fit parents, you see it in their children, period.
That's true. That's
when
so
you
true.
have parents who are maybe not as focused on the lifestyle, maybe they're maybe a lot more fast food eaters, you see it all over their children because they typically have much heavier children. You see it, and it's like, if you want children to be healthier, the adults must be. And once you change the lifestyle of the parents, their entire family structure, their entire family unit will jump on board without you ever saying a word. And that's the only way that you continue to produce adults who will be healthier.
And a healthier means a healthier community.
Absolutely. It's interesting because pretty soon, as I shared earlier, I have my 15-week program, but pretty soon I'll also be launching the corporate arm and bringing that to Central Florida.
Awesome.
And so much of that is about healthy employees mean healthier communities. So when you think about adults who are in healthier work environments, it means that their children are going to be healthier. It means that you won't have as many sick children, which means less sick teachers. And so I think about, you know, what that means for companies. Healthier employees are happier. we get a lot more done. It helps the overall, Central Florida community, and clearly that's where we serve. But it helps the community be much better, much happier people, less aggression, less negativity, less everything when we have healthier people, at work.
So, I was also thinking that there's a lot of companies that offer discounts on your insurance if they see that you're enrolled into some health workout class or something like that. It health center, and because they see it makes a difference in their bottom line.
It does. And depending on, what organization, they also may be even using services. Like they may have to use actuarial services to determine what their benefit structure needs to look like. You're
throwing all these big words.
I know. I took one out. But they use them. They may have to use them because it helps them.
What is that?
It basically are people who study like lifespan.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds like an insurance term.
Yes, it's very much.
Did you sell insurance too?
No, but it helps them understand kind of the propensity of payout. And as hard as that can be,
that's true.
But it's a reality. And especially when we have businesses that are based in Central Florida or businesses that are run by individuals that are not quite, $100 million, anything under, let's say, $100 million, you may be paying for your own benefits, and it matters when a company is paying for benefits for employees. And when you have healthier employees, it helps you provide more. But when you're constantly having
they
claims,
get a discount too.
Yes, but when you constantly have claims, they have to turn in the amount of sick employees all the time. And so when you're constantly having claims, if you have a whole team of people who have high blood pressure, it's going to cause everybody's premium in your organization to go up.
Wow.
And so there is incentive to a company to have employees who actually take advantage of lifestyle changes.
So it sounds like companies could benefit, businesses will benefit to hire somebody like you.
Absolutely, to have a wellness program, people who actually coach your team through it. And it's not about, oftentimes people get into a gym membership and, that their company offered, and it's just like a Biggest Loser challenge, type of thing, just weight loss challenge. But those don't change habits.
Ooh. So what changes habits then?
Yes. Habits are things that are sustainable and to build.
Because I got some bad habits sometimes. I got some bad food habits.
Most people do, right? But in order to build those habits.
I'm just thinking about a post that you had about somebody going to the refrigerator at night. I'm like, that's me. It's like, you just look and you look like, oh, I know I don't really want anything, but I'm just looking because it's...
Because I just need to do it. That is real. That's, oh God, that particular post gets a lot of people kind of engaged to write me back. Like, that is me, Nitra, you're talking to me.
For real.
But it's so important because while companies may provide, gym memberships, if nobody's using them, number one, that's not beneficial because some people don't like that. But then number two, if you all of a sudden, aren't able to see a return on those things, then some companies take them away.
Wow.
But when you have habit-based, challenges or habit-based, wellness programs, you have to build repetition, builds consistency, builds the habits. But when you're just in a weight loss challenge, that does nothing other than let us know someone can follow instructions for a certain period of time.
That's so true.
That's it. That's all we can do. And so when someone loses weight, of course you should, because you are following a restricted program for a certain amount of time and you should lose weight. But remember what I said earlier. If you cannot maintain it, is it worth it? If you don't know what to do to keep it, what's the point? Right? And when you have corporate wellness programs, they are habit-based, and it's all about how do you create sustainable lifestyle changes and habits that you can continue to develop over time, but you also can maintain.
So how do you do that? I'm just curious.
So most of them, with the companies that I know I will be working with here, it's usually anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. We find that is a maximum amount of time that people can stay engaged when it's trying to build habits, right? Anything longer than that is usually harder for people to take in because it's too much.
Yes,
and when you're trying to build habits, it needs to be in kind of bite-sized pieces. Like I can handle 6 to 8 weeks of something different. Sometimes it's about mindfulness, and mindfulness is about stopping and thinking about what you're doing before you do it and making better decisions. It could be a challenge about less stress or how to, develop a sleep routine.
Is that like the 6 to 8 weeks?
Yes.
Is that like 21 days? Does that go together?
Look, it's a little longer, maybe a little longer than 20. This times too. We're going to say a little longer than that. But
kind of fit that into my little program
yes,
there.
That's how you help build habits. It's just long enough for someone to get past the hurdles, but then it's enough that they're able to see changes that they've made stick. But not too long where people feel like, oh my God, I can't do it. Right? Because sometimes people just need a better starting point. And sometimes everybody can't jump into something that's for 6 months or not, or 3 months all of a sudden, or 4 months. But 6 to 8 weeks is a good amount of time to build new habits. It could be about water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Water consumption, just getting very comfortable with that. Stop smoking.
Yeah.
So this is why I say these are real lifestyle-based habits that people can do and then maintain. Having an exercise challenge where it's really about consistency of the exercise routine and in your heart rate zone for a certain amount of time, where it's not about did you lose weight doing it, but am I building the habit of going? Am I building the habit?
Now, is there something in your program where you have a building a habit of motivation?
I'm going to say, you about to say something funny. And what I will say this, whether it be in my 15-week program or even in my corporate wellness programs, I will tell you that motivation comes and goes for everybody. No matter how long you're doing it.
But see, I don't believe, because you're just always motivated. I can't even believe you're just always not, okay, I'm ready to go.
No, listen, I'm going to tell you, everybody, motivation fades. But what doesn't is the decisions that you make.
Oh, my goodness.
It's your decision.
I feel like I'm in your classroom now.
Yes, you asked for it. Look, you asked for it. But motivation is, sometimes you are more motivated than others where it's like, I'm ready. And then sometimes it's just, I know I need to do. But it still comes down to what's your why, what's important to you. Why do you want to do this? Because there are going to be days that you do not want to, that it's awful and I just want to sit around. I just want to do nothing.
Yes.
But the decisions you make about why this lifestyle is important to you, why leading a healthy lifestyle matters, those are the days that will get you up, because your why is so overarching to you that it's a decision that you've made.
So your why could be, you want to stay around for your family.
Absolutely.
Your loved ones.
I want to live a long time.
You want to be that benefit to your loved ones. Your why could be for yourself. Your why could be an example. So you just have to find your why.
You have to find your why.
So how do you find your why?
And for most people, I tell people every day, oftentimes when you hear someone say, hey, I just want to, lose 20, 30 pounds, that'll make a difference. And I have to ask people why. Because oftentimes we may all believe, yeah, you lose 30 pounds. Is it going to change your life in a way? Yep. However, losing the 30 pounds and the journey to do it, just the desire to lose 30 is not going to keep you in it. It has to be something more important. And so what is that? Is it because you are looking forward to being off your high blood pressure medication and never being on it again? Is it because you know that you are pre-diabetic and you refuse to be that same adult in your family that has diabetes? Is it that you know you want to live to be 100 years old and you want to go hiking, you want to travel when you retire? If you want to see your grandchildren, what is going to be important? Because I tell people every day, aesthetic goals, meaning just how we look, is to just lose 30 pounds. I'll look better. Okay, great. Yes, you will. However, the journey can be tough. It's going to challenge every bit of a person to get there and stay there. And so there has to be something more important, because when it gets tough, we will all rationalize away. I look good. Them 20, 30 pounds, I still look good. It doesn't matter, which is most of the time that's the case. You're still going to look fantastic. So what is it? It has to be something more.
It seems like what I found too is that after someone has gone through a traumatic experience in their life, it changes their perception. Sometimes, most of the time, that's where I think they can find their why. If someone suffered a heart attack, they say, "Ooh, I think I need to."
And the sad part is that's what I know. And for me and in my practice and what I do, what I want is for people never to have to experience the traumatic experiences that will then tell them, I need to get it together. Because I tell people then it's not fun anymore. When you have to do it, that looks very different versus making the decision to change your lifestyle because you know it's better for you, it's the right thing to do, and you have a reason. But once something bad happens, maybe it's a death in the family.
Yeah.
You will always associate a part of your journey with something traumatic. Or maybe it's you've had a stroke or a heart attack. The recovery on the way back is hard. It's hard without those things. Then much less you tack on an actual real health crisis. No, it's not fun then when you don't have a choice. And so I try to tell people it's better make the choice before the choice is made for you.
Make the choice before the choice is made for you. Wow. So I think you answered the question of where do you find your motivation?
Yes. And for me, and I'll tell y'all, for me, some people think, well, I've been doing this a long time. Like I always worked corporately for a very long time. For 25 years, I worked corporately, but this was kind of the thing that was my side, right? I did this on the side, kind of referral only. And this was my calling. And I decided that I no longer wanted to work corporately anymore, that this is what got me out of the bed every day, helping people be successful in this realm. I've always been a coach, always been a business person corporately, but this was a different thing for me. It's nothing like seeing people find health success or when they've realized that they've achieved something so personal, right? But for myself personally, I want to live to be 100 years old. And that doesn't happen by itself. Granted, I don't control all, but the pieces that I can control, I will do my part. The Lord will take care of the rest. And I have no idea if I'm going to get that opportunity, but I'm going to try my best to still have it. Right?
Yes.
So
it can happen. It can happen, And so how can someone get in contact with you?
Yes. So if someone is looking for me and you're thinking, God, man, I think she's speaking to me, I'm really ready to invest in my health for the future. My Instagram is Nutrition with Nitra. You can just type that in, and also you can message me on Facebook under my name, Anitra Shuttleworth. You can DM me there, or again,
how do you spell that, Shuttleworth?
I know we don't have to tag this. I'm sure you're gonna tag this in there. But my first name is ARNETRA. Last name is SHETTLEWORTH. You can find me on Facebook, or again, you can message me on Instagram at Nutrition with Nitra.
Wow. This program is being brought to you by the law offices of Sean R.H. Smith, where we specialize in estate planning, getting your legacy together, and we're talking about building a legacy now with Coach Nitra. You can reach us at SeanRHSmithLaw.net. SeanRHSmithLaw.net or 321-800-5764. It's just amazing talking to you. I always try to, I like to talk to people who are self-motivated because motivation is just the key to keep you going. It's like, it's so hard, especially with exercise. It's hard, but to be motivated, to have that spark to ignite you in the morning, to get you going, or whatever, when you work out, do you find that it takes like similar people around you, or do you to help you stay motivated, or you just, it's within you?
For me, it's within me, but I will tell you, I love working out with partners because it helps you finish when you know that it's tough. But I don't need the motivation to get there.
Yes, and that's because some people work better in groups when we're talking about working out and exercise, like small groups, or they need a coach.
Yeah, look, this
That's true.
Reach out. But remember what I said, everybody, motivation comes and goes, but the decisions that you make around why you want something, those are unwavering.
Mm-hmm. And so also what I'm getting from you is like, you're in the journey with them because the struggle is real.
It is.
But the journey is not by themselves.
Correct.
You're with them in the journey.
Yep.
And I think that's wonderful and beautiful to understand where they are now and where they can be, what the potential can be for them. They just have to tap into it.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that people have that self-esteem issue no matter how successful. So it's not about the outward success. It's not about the outward appearance of a success, how much money they make. But they always can still doubt themselves because of how they feel, their body image, how they feel emotionally. So from what I'm hearing too from you is that it pays to have some mental counseling as well, if that's a need.
Absolutely. And there are times when I need to refer someone to a therapist or a counselor if I think that it's a little more than I need to be taking on. But for many people, the mental aspect is first.
Yes,
Almost anyone who is on a health journey, lifestyle journey, weight loss journey, it is truly tapping into their mental perspective about what they're doing. Because that's why I say anybody can go exercise. Anybody really can lose weight. But do you have the mental fortitude? Like, do you have what you need to kind of stick with it? As I call it, I'm going to call my made up word. Do you have some stick-to-itiveness? Can you stick to it, right? But most people, that's the problem. They won't stick because it's something that's blocking them in their mind. And oftentimes it's because they can't see it.
Wow.
They want it, but they actually don't believe that it can be done because they've been maybe a certain weight or they felt a certain way for so long that they want it, but don't truly believe that it's possible.
Don't you think that that support system is very important too? They need to have that support system, because maybe they feel like that their spouse or significant other is not helping them or supporting them, and maybe that their spouse don't even know it, that they're not helping them or supporting them. Like if they're say, hey, it's time for us, we usually it's ice cream night. And you're like, no, I'm not trying to say, hey, that little bit won't hurt. They maybe they don't know that they're not helping them out. So it's like, I guess it's a whole.
There's a lot that goes into it, and that's why I say you're tapping into the mind of the person, because in order to be successful, it's your mind that we have to change, not your body. We have to change your mind and to believe that you can do it and you can actually see yourself doing it, because once you can see yourself doing it, then no matter if you have support in your family, friends or not, it won't matter. Because you won't be swayed. That's why I say the decisions you make at that point are unwavering, because it won't matter what anybody else thinks or does. It's because you have made up in your mind that you're ready to change and you know you need to.
Wow, that's deep, because I know a lot of people, they may blame too. Like, well, I could have, but, so-and-so took me out and, it was all you can eat buffet. And I was like, hey, I couldn't resist.
Yep.
Because I had to be social.
Listen, I will tell you, if you want to know the largest blame is children. It's really? A cop-out. It's a cop-out response. That's why it's very important that we tackle somebody's mindset, because there will always be people who either take care of parents or they have children, because it's my children need this. I don't have time because of this. But you do have time. You have time for the things that you want. And I'm not saying that there aren't real obstacles, but you have to be open to seeing them differently. Are you open to allowing somebody to help you look at what you have so that you can do it differently to support your actual goal, which is taking care of you?
Wow. So when's the book coming out?
I know, one day, everybody, one day.
Hey, I mean,
one day.
You got to patch this, because this is some great stuff. People want a go to your seminars and your workshops
One day.
because, they need it.
Yes.
They need it. The coaching, that's great, but we need to see you on the big stage, big screen.
Listen, y'all keep the faith for me too. I'm praying on it every day, but I know it will be there. It's funny. I had a whole probably sermon that I wrote out, and I should have recorded it today in my car on the way to the gym.
Wow.
That I know it's going to be one day. It's more of a faith-based seminar around how you lead this lifestyle and what are you really saying when we allow unhealthy habits to keep sticking in our life, when you wouldn't let any other thing do that to you, especially people who are faith-based. And so I probably wrote out the whole thing in my car.
Wow, listen to that. Let me know where you're going to be preaching at. I want to be there. Waving my
but,
Wow. So tell us again, how can we contact you?
Yes. So again, on Instagram, Nutrition with Netra. Facebook also is my full name, and it's ARNETRASHETTLEWORTH. My Facebook page is also Nutrition with Netra. And then if you would love to email me, you can email me at info@btnc.life. And my webpage is also btnc.life. You can do www.btnc.life. And there are many links that you can contact me there.
Wow, your phone's blowing up already because you're sending out, sending out the information. People are like, okay, I need to contact coach. Gotta get to the coach. We're gonna bring you back again so we can have a question and answer. Question and answer.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Because you have so much information, and you have the background in the knowledge base. You're not just making this up.
No.
You're on point. So this is awesome. So hey, this has been great as usual.
Thank you.
I could talk to the coach all day, as you guys can see, because I'm all about health, and I love talking about community. And she's about the community, and that's what we're about on Community Matters. Coach, any last words you want to say?
I'd say just anybody listening, if that's something that you have been struggling with, go ahead and take that step. The most important part is take action. Don't keep waiting.
Wow. Do it now. So this has been a great program. I'm Dan Smith once again on Community Matters, brought to you by the law offices of Sean R.H. Smith. And we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Community Matters is every Tuesday at 12 o'clock here on Inspiration 1680 and FM 100.7.
Community Matters is brought to you by the law offices of Sean R.H. Smith.
Our practice focuses on elder law, where we specialize in wills, trusts, probates, and estates. Our offices are conveniently located in downtown Orlando, off of Kirkland Road as well, and we even have an office in the city of Apopka.